What do you say, folks? It's Dave here, and it looks like I got through on the first attempt. Been having some trouble connecting the software with YouTube. It's been kind of glitchy connecting. I think one time I was with a replay gamer and we didn't connect at all, and I had to redo it over. But yeah, looks like we're going good now, and hopefully I sound good. And welcome everybody. It is a Sunday night. It is a couple days before St. Patrick's Day, and things are finally winding down for me. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that tonight. And I'm going to talk about the little is it a rule or what is it there? Is it the one game one project rule, the one game one project conundrum, or whatever you want to call it? And yes, I got the Colts on here tonight as Sean comes by. Good to see you, Sean, and the Tim. It is the Tim coming by. Good to see you. So I got a little conundrum here tonight. I wanted to run by everybody and just to see what you guys think. I get these things in my head and I like to talk it out to see if it's just me being a weirdo or if we're all weirdos. Like, I guess that's what I want to find out. There's Raymond there. Raymond, I still haven't got back to Check Action PC. Then again, as you see, I've played nothing in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Um, I think I've gone up to New Hampshire 16 times in the last 20 days or something like that. It's been nuts. I think I looked at my schedule. I think I've done 16 games in 16 days, and yesterday was a triple header. And it's just the playoffs are just nuts right now. And so that being said, that I haven't had a chance to do anything, but I've had a lot of time in between periods to think about some of the projects I want to do, and that kind of leads me to where we are here tonight with tonight's chat as Ryan comes by as well. And Philip and Barbara, thanks for coming by and talking this out with me. So, in between periods, I was up there and I just was trying to think about some fun things to do, because, I got to get through this here. And then it's just like, okay, then it opens up, my schedule clears up and I can play some games. So I'm like, what am I going to play? And that's kind of how I get myself through the workday. I don't know about you guys. If you guys ever like put in crazy amounts of work and you look up and like a week has gone by and you've done nothing but work, or 2 weeks, and maybe you're on this big project or starting a new job, or whatever it is, it's just really kind of been nuts for me. And but that's how it is every March. It just gets silly. So I've had some time to think about what I want to do, and I get on this kick where I want to play some USFL. Don't ask me why. I don't even know where it came from. You know where it probably came from is the one thing I have done in the world of gaming in the last 2 or 3 weeks, when I'm not at work or I'm not at the hospital with my wife. That's another story. She's okay, by the way. She's okay. Still can't get out of bed very much, but she's okay. Is I unboxed 1983 NFL from Appa. And that's the set I bought from Kenny a couple weeks ago. So that arrived, and I unboxed that and went through that the other day. It's the only thing I've done gaming wise, and I'm in a football mood. And I was like, damn it! Once this schedule ends in the next week to 10 days, I am going to start playing some Apple football. One of my favorite games. I'm going to play some of that, and I just want to play some of my long play football games, whether it's Solitaire Pro or Season Ticket or Second Season. I want to get some of that on the table and play that. And some reason the USFL got in this little head of mine. And I was like, I want to play something different because I was looking at Chris White's catalog. Now, Chris White's the guy that does all my over here, all my Appa envelopes, and he's created some really fun seasons, including the hair set that Some Roads got for me and sent me. Plus, he sent me the World Series set and the Best Decade set. So Chris White does some really, really nice things. So he's got the 2 World Football League seasons and the 3 USFL seasons, and it's something that Appa doesn't have. So I'm like, maybe I'll look at getting one of those seasons. So I know they got Flutie and Jim Kelly and Herschel Walker and a few of those guys in there. But 83, the first season, they had the Boston Breakers. And I never did get to a Breakers game. So I'm going to get to my point eventually, but I'm kind of telling you the story, how this happened here. And I want to know if this kind of had that happen to you. So I was like, it'd be fun to, after all this work I've done, is to buy one big set of something. And maybe that would be it. Maybe I'd buy the big set USFL for Apple football from Chris so I could play some of that. And it's like, well, what season do I get? I go 83 would be the Boston Breakers. And I wanted to go to a game. I remember being at the gym as a 16-year-old or whatever it was saying, anybody want to go to a Breakers game? And nobody wanted to go. And that's why you saw nobody in the stands, because nobody wanted to go. So I never did get the one, but I thought it was neat that they had another team in the area. Then they moved to Portland and New Orleans. So they didn't stick around very long in Boston. So if I want to play Boston, I got to do 83. If I want to get, Flutie and those guys, I got to play either 84 or 85. So there's my little dilemma. I don't want to buy them all. It's too expensive, but which one do I get? So I've been hemming and hawing about what I want to do with that. And I almost pulled the trigger on 83, and I didn't. I held back, and I said, no, I'm not going to do 83. Is there a fast driver? Well, that's where I'm getting to, Philip. That's where I'm getting to. There's a point to this whole story, but I wanted to tell the story here, okay? I don't have much of a voice left from today, but I do have a little bit as Lake Effect comes by. Hello. So I thought about, what do I want to do? Would I play this enough? What season would I get? How many games would I get in? Because, again, Napa football, as much as I love it, doesn't get on the table too much because it's a long game. It takes a long time to set up and a long time to play. I really like it, though. I just haven't got to on the table recently. So if I spent the money on it, how many games would I play? And I don't know enough people in USFL, but I know a few. So then I got thinking, well, instead of buying, the cards and spending all that money on the cards, it's something I might play 1 or 2 games. What if I were to try a different game? And I think I have it in, I have one of the seasons for second season. So I thought about maybe second season Express would be kind of fun. Because I know I at least have one USFL season there. I bought, I think, on one of the sales. So I have that. So I said, that might be something I can check into too. As Dawn comes by, good to see you. Hopefully you're having a good day. So then I'm like, okay, that's a possibility. So I went from like the APA set to the second season set. And if I don't have it, maybe I'll just go buy it from for play if it's still for sale. And then I thought about, well, does Solitaire Pro Football have it? And I think they have 84. I don't think they have 83. I think they have 84. So I was like, well, I can't play 83 with that. Then I thought, well, what if I just do Action PC? Because I think I have it for Action PC. I know I got the WFL. I think I have USFL. If not, they offer it for sale. So I'm thinking in my mind, how can I play the USFL either on the table or on the computer? And I don't want to spend a ton of money on it, because what if this is a passing phase and I play a game or 2 and it's out of my system? You know how it is. We get hot and heavy over something. We play a game or 2 and it's out of our system, and it's like, well, how much money did I spend on that? So I'm like, well, maybe I'll play it on the computer, and if I get in the groove, and all of a sudden, if this thing is like the next best thing since sliced bread, then I will I'll go pick up a big season and play it. So maybe I just need to go and see if I'm going to get it out of my system, or if it's going to be here long term. Then I went from there, and someone suggested a 2nd and 10 PC, and so it's on there, and I think I have that. I think it's all included, so maybe I could check out that too. And then I come around and say, I think Al Wilson has it for Fast Drive Football. And I just checked. So I do have it for Fast Drive Football. They don't have the enhanced version, but they do have the regular season version, all 3 actually. And I think I have the older set. So I might be able to use those with his new game, the Fast Action cards. So that's how I got all the way around to complete the circle. I went from, the APA to, the second season to the PC games, and then finally coming all the way around to Fast Drive Football. Here's my dilemma with that. As you know, I'm playing 1979. I'm playing the full season with Fast Drive Football. Enjoying it very much. I'm 4 weeks in. I think I'm ready to start week 5. Okay. Is it week 5? Yeah, I'm ready to start week 5. Okay. And I have it right here on my left because I can pull it out and play a quick game. Now, here's my issue. If I wanted to scratch my USFL itch, and I was going to do it with Fast Drive Football, it's not a rule. It's not an issue. I just feel that if I were to play Fast Drive Football, knowing I got an ongoing project that I'm enjoying very much, any time I spend with Fast Drive Football really should be with my 1979 project. And if I start playing some USFL or some playoffs or some Super Bowls, I feel as though the 79 project is now sliding down the mountain and it's going to just fall into oblivion. And yes, I've been watching a lot of Mount Everest videos. It's very sad, by the way. Do you ever get that feeling? Do you have a project going on with a game and then feel like if I play that game, but I'm not playing the project, I'm playing something else, do you feel like if I'm going to play game X, I should be playing my project. I should be on that project trying to complete that project, because if I use game X and I play something else, I feel like the project's being pushed off to the side and it's going to be harder to get back to that project. And so I was thinking that today. It's like, I should probably pull out the Fast Drive Football and play that, but I just feel any Fast Drive Football I play, I should be doing my 79 season, because I would like to keep that going. So that's the one game, one project dilemma. The game is Fast Drive Football. The project is 1979. And I just feel if I do anything else right now with Fast Drive Football, it's kind of like kicking that 79 project, right in the groin. What do you guys think? Do you guys have that issue at all, that you got a project going, no matter how big or how small it is, and if you decide to pull out that game and not play that project and play something else, I don't want to say like you're cheating on the project. That doesn't make any sense. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I should, if I'm playing Fast Drive Football, I should be playing 79. I have it here. All the teams are ready to go. I should be playing. If I take a side road and play something else, I guess the feeling is that you can only play so much of one game. At least I can. So if I start using up my Fast Drive Football time on something else and not the 79 season, the interest in that 79 season is going to start to wane, because I've scratched my Fast Drive Football itch, or whatever game I'm playing itch. And then at some point, I'm going to want to go on to play something else. So I just feel maybe that's it. Maybe it's one of these things where, like the payoff pitch. I have the 76, Red Sox I'm playing right now. I really don't think I've played any other payoff pitch except that 76 season. And I feel as though if I pull out a game of payoff pitch that's not the 76 Red Sox, then I'm using my payoff pitch time not on the project, but on something else. And now that project takes a back seat. So now when I go back to play it, it's like, well, I've already played payoff pitch this week. So if I want to play 79 Fast Drive Football, but I've played 5 or 6 games of the USFL, well, I've already used up my Fast Drive Football time. Now I want to play something different. So is this just the weird part of me in gaming? Is me overthinking it? Maybe this is me being so tired from working and not sleeping, or is this a real thing? It's just, let me know. You know where I'm coming from, and it's not a bad problem. Again, it's not like I'm trying to solve world hunger here, but just in my gaming situation, I just feel if I have a project ongoing, I know I have a lot of projects going, and some just, okay, we're done with that. But there's a few I have going, my 76 baseball, my 79 football, a couple I have going on. I just feel like if I'm going to play that game, I'm going to play the project so I can keep that project moving forward, so it just doesn't fall along the wayside. When I did that Shootout EZ playoff thing, right? When I did the 74-75 playoffs with the Shootout EZ, fast, quick games. It was fun. While I was doing that project, there was no way that I thought about doing anything else with Shootout EZ while I was doing that project. Because I didn't want to put that project on hold and play that game engine and do some other games. I wanted to stick with that project because I didn't want that project to become stale, because I played so much of that game doing some other things that, well, now that project not going to happen. Am I making sense? I mean, does this make sense? Hang on. Let me maybe change the scene, and maybe that'll make things better. Am I saying it correctly? Do you guys know what I'm saying? And like effects, how do you feel towards using more than one game that you have the same season for one project? Oh, different games are fine. Different games, I don't mind bouncing around with different games, and that's what makes this fun. Is this whole thing fun here in the community is I can play different games. And again, as we talk about, different games scratch different itches. This game does this game does that. Sometimes the baseball game does this, and sometimes the baseball game does that. And that's what makes it fun, is we have so many games to play, and they all do different things. And there's fun to be had in all of them. And not all of them provide you the fun that another game does, and vice versa. So that's what I like with that. So, but when I get on a kick with the game, I just like, and I'm thinking more specifically with the 79 football one, I'm enjoying it. Don't get me wrong. I've streamed it here. I played it offline. It comes in real handy. Like tomorrow, we're supposed to get a major rain and windstorm here. So I don't think I'll have the computer on, but I can still play here because I don't need anything for that one there. I just need to play it, and I'm not keeping any stats. I just need a notepad. And so I'll probably bang on a few games tomorrow. But if I go off and sidetrack myself with some USFL games, and now I get my Fast Drive football fix out of the way, and I haven't played any of my 79 project, have I now abandoned that project? Is it something now that, if it was any other game with USFL, it wouldn't be a big deal. But if I go to Fast Drive football, if I pull it out, I have to push my 79 teams to the side. And that's my ongoing project with that. And I am enjoying it. So that's my dilemma. It's that game, or if I were to pull out payoff pitch and try to play something aside from my 76 Red Sox. I feel as though any time I put in with payoff pitch, I should be playing my 76 season. I like it. I really do. I'm not bored with it. I really enjoy it. But, there's other teams I could play, but is that taking away from the project? So, and Enzo says, don't see a reason to rush projects. Same theory you have with long game, but it's 2 hours of fun. Yeah, that's true. That's true. When I play games, for whether I play 5 games in an hour or 1 game in an hour or half a game in an hour, it's still fun. You're exactly right, Enzo. Exactly right. And Sean plays, he always gets back to his replays in Action PC Baseball. Yeah. And Dawn says, I would just finish the product. See, and that's kind of where I'm going here, Dawn, is, if I have this set up and ready to go, I should just keep playing that, even though it's going to take me a while. Because, again, I've been at that, a couple of months or so, off and on. And I can bang out 3 or 4 games in a night sometimes, and it's kind of fun. And was there like 15 or 16 games, 15 or 16 games in a week? So, I mean, so it does take a little while to play a whole week, and I'm only on week 5, and then I'll do playoffs. But yeah, I'm thinking, like I said, I want to keep that project moving, because knowing myself, if I let a project sit for too long, it ends up going in the closet. It just does. And you got to be honest with yourself. I know myself, and I just get so excited about playing different games and different things happening, or whatever it is going on in my life, sometimes good, sometimes bad, that if I don't do a project for a while, then I'm probably not going to get back to it, and it's done. So I kind of agree with Don here to try to get back to the project. But at the same time, I'm trying to scratch that USFL itch is what I'm trying to do. And I don't know what game to use. Fast Drive football would probably be the best to start, just because, I already have the seasons, so I don't have to buy them again. And there's no enhanced seasons to buy, so I don't have to worry about that. So I can play a couple of games with that and see if the itch gets scratched, or if I want more. And if I want more, then I can go and buy the APA season, or I can, play it with second season or something like that, or maybe grab the Solitaire Pro season and scratch it that way. But I just feel if I were to play Fast Drive football right now and it's not 79, you know what I mean? I want to keep that project moving along. I guess is where I am right now. And Raymond says, game is meant to be fun, not stressful. Scratch the itch when and if you return to the previous project, it was meant to be. Play for my enjoyment. I know. I agree with that, Ray. I agree with that. But sometimes it's like, you start a project for a reason and you want to have some fun, and you do for a while. And then all of a sudden, you get off doing something. At least I do. I get off doing something else. I get distracted real easy, especially with the games, because I have so many games I enjoy playing. And I like, mixing it up here on the channel and doing different things. And, I can't play this. Well, I shouldn't say that I can't play the same game for a long time, because I do. I get into a groove that I'll play a game for 2 or 3 weeks at a time and nothing else. And I'll have my fun with it. Then I'll back off of that and I might not go back to it for a while. And if I do go back to it, I probably should continue what I was doing, right? It's kind of like, you got a car out in the garage and you're working on it and you're working on it and you're working on it. And it's like you got this new tool that, either, maybe buffs it or shines it or, cleans the engine, whatever it is. And you go back out in the garage and you take that tool and you go to the other car that's in the garage and you start working on that and whatever tool it is. And it's just like, well, now the first car is not going to get finished because now I've already gone on to the second car and skipped over the first car, whereas I should finish the first car, or even in the house. I'm cleaning out, this room over here. You get half done and then, well, I'm not going to clean up this room. And we're guilty of that over here too, where we have like 10 different things going on and nothing gets done. If we could just stick with one thing and do it, we'd be done with it. But we do a little bit of this and a little bit of that, a little bit of this. So even around the house, it's something that happens with the both of us. And it's like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm over here. It's like, well, you got boxes everywhere. Well, I know, but I moved on to this room now. And well, you got boxes over here. Well, now I'm in the garage. It's like, well, I got boxes in the garage. It's like, stick with one area, do it, get it done, make it look nice, then go on and make a mess somewhere else. And so I guess that's just kind of human nature. So I think that's the thing with that. And the Tim says, as you said, it's time that I feel I should be using for the project. I usually eventually get back around to the first product, so maybe it's keeping it all fresh. That's an interesting take. So if I were to play something different with that game engine, maybe it would make me long for that original project. Maybe that's a good way of looking at it. It just kind of keeps it fresh. So instead of playing the same team from 79, which there's something to be said, though, when you're playing, like I say, I don't stick with things wicked long, but every now and then I do. So when I'm playing my 76 payoff pitch, if I play, a couple games a night and I do that for a few days, you get into the groove, you start to feel it, right? You feel the team, you feel how they're doing, you see the hitting streaks, you see how the pitchers are doing, you get an idea how the other teams are doing. It's super fun because you're getting really immersed in that. And that's kind of how I was with 79. Now that I get 4 games down, I can see who's 3-0. Or 4 weeks. I can see who's 4-0 or 0-4 or 2-2 and see what teams are underachieving and overachieving. And now you get into weeks 5 and 6 and you're like, if you guys start going down 0-5 or 1-4, it's going to be a long climb back to try to get into the playoffs, especially if they were a playoff team. So things start to take shape, and I enjoy that. And so the more you play something, the more you're really kind of feeling it. Whereas, I bounce around a lot and to keep things fresh, so to speak. But sometimes when you're in it, it's pretty good too, But maybe it is keeping it fresh. Ben says, am I going to get sued for not fulfilling a contract to finish said project? And don't worry about it. I have no idea. I haven't checked my mail in a couple of days. So maybe the guys from 79 has sent me a cease and desist on all the other games with Fast Drive Football till I get the season done. I haven't checked yet. I got some mail I need to check, So anyway, Sabrina Larson comes by and says, immediate gratification versus delayed gratification. My most rewarding gaming experiences have centered around a gaming project, but fully respect others' own joy in game. Yeah, we all do different things. And again, there's no wrong answers here. I just was kind of throwing this out for you guys. Do you guys ever get that if you're playing a game, let's just say you're a big strat person, you're playing some strat baseball and you're having fun, maybe you're playing a World Series or you're playing one team's replay. Would you go and stop and play strat and just play a whole nother season or a whole nother thing and stop what you're doing with that? Or do you feel like if you wanted to continue with that project, anytime you pulled out Strat-O-Matic, you need to play that project because that's what that game's doing right now. So that's kind of what I'm thinking here. And again, we're just kind of talking. We're not trying to solve, anything major in the world here. I'm just kind of talking out loud. It's one of these things that, I had my iPad at the rink the other day, and in between periods, I'm scrolling through and trying to find stuff on the USFL and, what game should I play? What'll scratch the itch with that? And I said, the Fast Drive Football would be perfect, but that's taken away from my 79 project. So I just wanted to kind of bounce that off you guys and just see what you thought. Again, there's no wrong answers here. I can play whatever I want. You can play whatever you want at any time. There's nothing holding us to anything. We don't have to finish project. There's no time. Like Uncle Ron says, there's no time frame for your project. You do it when you want. I just was feeling weird about playing Fast Five football because I'm like, I should be playing my 79 season because that's what I'm enjoying. So I want to just kind of throw that out there for you guys. And this cold ginger ale feels so good in my throat today. I've been doing so much talking at the rink. I got a little bit of a voice left, so. And Mr. Patch comes by. Good to see you, Mr. Patch. It's been a while since we chatted. At the end of the day, still a better dilemma to have than a dilemma of not having enough you want to play. That's true. Too much gaming is not a bad dilemma to have compared to not enough gaming, that is for sure. Barbara says, I like playing my project. I do not like playing random games for that season. I have a project going on with. So kind of sort of with me on that one. You want to be banging out something different if you got a project going. You kind of want to stay true to the project and keep that going. And then maybe. And yeah, the payoff pitch for PC needs to get here. I played that the other day. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoy it. And Jerry comes by. He's my Apple football buddy. I love watching his stuff. I put you on the other night. I put you on late at night. And I listen like an AM radio broadcast when I go to bed. And it's just fun listening. And yes, I saw you had the 89 and 83 Apple football going on. I just got 83. I bought it from Kenny. And I just unboxed that the other day. But I got the itch for the USFL. I don't know why. I don't know where this came from. I don't know what triggered this. He says, I have 89 and 83 Apple football products going. But the itch is the game, not the season. The game allows me to play Alworth and Manning, then Kozar and then Brown and so and so. So, but again, if you were trying to play, let's just say, Jerry, you were playing 89. You said, I'm going to play the 89 Broncos. And you pull it out and you're playing APA football, 89 Broncos, and you play a handful of games. So you say you're 3-4 weeks into the season. And then you put away the 89 Broncos and you pull out something else in APA football. So now you're going to sit down for 2 or 3 hours and play something completely different, and that 89 Broncos project goes off to the side. Do you feel as though when you pull out APA football that you really should be attacking that original product, the 89 Broncos in our scenario here? Because that's my dilemma here now, is that if I play, I only have really a couple of projects going on right now. I mean, I know I had a million of them, but I mean, two that I'm still kind of consistently sticking with right now. I just feel if I play that game, I really should be chipping away at the project. Just kind of how I feel. It's just, again, it's the scenario that we had a minute ago when I said, let's just say you start to clean the garage and you start doing the garage and you get a little bit into it and you're making some progress, but it's just kind of messy and stuff's everywhere. Then you're like, I'm going to go out and clean out the shed. So then you go out into the shed and you start doing the shed, and it's just, now the garage is a mess and the shed is a mess. And it's like, what do I do here? I should just finish the garage and get that done and feel good about it and then move to the shed. And so I'm going to leave the broom in the garage until I'm done doing the garage instead of taking the broom out to the shed or whatever it is. I just, again, I guess that's human nature. We got to get a million things going on at once, And Ray says, if you were to continue to play the project, would you still want to play the one-off game? I don't know. Because would I still want to play the one-off game? Probably. But again, the issue is that, let's just say, I get back to that shootout project we were talking about. Instead of playing the games from that season, if I went off and played a playoffs from something else, I'm using up my shootout time, but I'm not attacking the project I should be working on. And I don't mean like have to or should, but it's just, I started something and it's like I was enjoying it. Now I go off on something else and I just let this go. Yeah. You ever seen the meme on Facebook of the woman holding up the kid in the pool and one kid's drowning and then there's a skeleton at the bottom? That's kind of how I feel. It's like I got the 79 product floating over here and another project at the bottom that's drowned, and me holding up, oh, look at the USFL project. That's kind of how I feel what's going on here. And I just thought I'd talk about it tonight. Again, it's nothing earth shaking here, but it's just fun things to talk about. And I just wanted you guys' opinion on that. And Serena Larson, 1983 USL by Mr. White is a gem in any gaming collection. I know. That's the thing. And I had my iPad out, and I'm sitting there between periods at the rink. I think it was yesterday because I had 3 games yesterday. So between one of the 9 periods, I had the iPad out looking at his catalog, and I'm sitting there staring at that one page of the USFL. And he's got the 3 seasons. And I'm like, which one do I get? I'd love to get 83 to play the Boston Breakers. I would love it. But I'd also like to play some Flutie games and some Herschel Walker games and some Jim Kelly games. And some of them weren't there in 83. And I even think Doug Williams was in the USFL. So there's my dilemma. It's like which season to get. And I can't afford to get more than one right now. And I don't know how much I would play them. So I'm juggling here. But it is a gem, that's for sure. And Barbara says to Ray, I will play a one-off from Strat, but not from the game I'm playing a project with. See, and that's my thing. So I would not mind playing like Second Season Express with the USFL and playing a few games and getting my itch scratched, or scratch my itch, or whatever it is, compared to, again, going back and this is not picking on Fast Drive Football. If anything, it says how great of a game it is that I want to play so many teams with it. But I got my season going and my project going, and I should be doing that. And I play it and I enjoy it very much. And but you know what I'm saying? If any time I put in the Fast Drive Football that's not going into 79, it just feels like that product is sinking to the bottom of the pool. Larry says 2 months of D&D, isn't it? Right? Holy cow. I forgot about that. 2 months away. Yeah, this is March 15th, and May 15th we'll be down there in Connecticut and playing some games, and we'll be having these discussions. Maybe we should have a panel discussion on some of these things, right? Skullman comes by. Good to see you. Cease desisting. Was that what it is? You got to stop playing these one-offs and finish the project. I don't know. I was kind of joking around. And Demi comes by. You're still doing live videos with Joe and Vinny? No, I'm not. And Demi says, I did the same thing in his with the Mets. Yeah, you kind of want to, play that team, And Demi's in a project with Bankshot Basketball. Well, that's a great game, and again, it's a long game. So I'm very careful with my longer games. Like Fast Drive Football is a fast game, right? And the other game, Bankshot and Apper and stuff like that, but football, those are longer games. So I'm really careful about how I do those. I did start a 78 Apper football season, and I got, I think, a week or 2 in and had a lot of fun with it when I first got the Apper football, but then I realized I was playing it wrong. And so I was like, yeah, I think I'm just going to scrap that. And I probably won't be doing any major Apper football replays. It'll probably be the one-offs, some playoffs maybe, things like that. And I just got to be realistic with myself that there's no way that I'm going to be doing anything big with Apple football unless I get a lot of time off. And well, maybe this summer I'll have something and I'll do some playoffs. But, sometimes I get on a roll with Apple football and I'll play a couple of games back to back or something like that, And Jerry says, so he's got no guilt pushing something to the side. I know I'll get back to it at some point. I almost think a break from the project would keep me from feeling repetitive. Well, that's a good point too. That, if you feel like you have to play something and you're like, oh man, I got to play these teams again, then you go off and play something different and something fun. It might keep the project a little fresh because you're not having that ham sandwich every single day. You're going to have something different. Then maybe you go back to the ham sandwiches and, oh, these aren't too bad again because I took a break, And Skullman says, the older you get, the more valuable your time is, so pick and choose your projects wisely. Yep. Yeah, it is. And Captain Carl comes by. Good to see you. And Skullman says, I just bought and received both 50-star roster sets from Chris White. 2,300 calls, and he's in APA baseball heaven. Yeah, he's got some. Again, the stuff Chris does is great. There's times that I want to go and get, like, he sells individual teams, and it's like full color front and back. So part of me thought about like picking up some of my favorite teams just to get the full color everywhere, because it's, again, APA doesn't offer the same things that he does. And so there's a couple seasons of APA I got that I'd like to have like one team that's done up really nice for me, but I still haven't done that yet. I talked to him about some Japanese teams. I thought it'd be pretty funny if I tried to do some Japanese baseball here. I thought it'd be a fun time. Hey, Larry says, if I heard from Marco, I haven't talked to Marco in a couple of weeks anyway. Like I say, I had him on the show, and I saw him chatting on Facebook, and me and him went back and forth a couple times about something or other. I think I was trying to get him on the show, but he was having a hard time finding a time to come on. So that's why I left it. But that might have been 3 weeks ago. But then again, time is flying by for me right now, because I just have done nothing but work these last few weeks and shovel snow. Oh, by the way, remember that contest I was going to do about, when would be the last bit of snow in my backyard I would see, and everybody could pick a date, and I'd give the winner a prize or something like that? Well, so much for that. We've had a couple of 50-degree days and a 70-something degree day, and the snow is almost gone. And I was really thinking into mid-April. Somebody said May. I says, it won't go into May, but I says, it'll be mid-April before all the snow goes away. But a couple of big days, and snow's all gone in my backyard. There's still a couple of patches, but it's almost gone. Tomorrow we're getting a bunch of rain. That should wipe out any snow left. So we're going to have no snow here probably before March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. I would have not bet that. I would have bet first week of April, but as it goes. But then again, you never know what we're going to get for snow here. That's the way it goes. And the Replay Gamer has been going nuts with his posts. They've been great. You know what's great about his stuff is he does these little chats there, and they're not live, and he just talks, which is kind of fun. Those are great for in the car. As I will because I've been going, like I said, to New Hampshire every single day. It's like an hour ride each way, and so I put on something to listen to, and I've been listening to him, and it's been great because you don't need to watch it; you can just listen. And so I've been listening to his chats going back and forth to New Hampshire, so it was fun. I even contacted him. I says, I think I want to do a point counterpoint with you, because he was talking about his if he was the baseball commissioner, which is a fantastic chat. If you haven't seen it, go check out the Replay Gamers channel and listen to the one that if he was the commissioner of baseball. It was really good. It was really good. And it's something that that's something that, like, we all do. Like, even at the conventions, we'll sit around chatting, and it's like, if I was in charge of this, what would I do? And if I was in charge of this, what would I do? And those are just fun little discussions to have. And he had some pretty good takes, some pretty wild takes. And I thought it'd be fun to kind of do a point counterpoint with him on those things there. So you might see that coming up pretty soon if I can nail him down and get him on the channel again. But he's doing some fun things over there. He really is. And Demi says, I still need to finish 71, 73, and 75 Seaver starts. I need to go back and to do my Clemens 86. That has been a disaster. I tried that twice, and it's been a disaster each time, so maybe I won't go back to it. But I tried it in a couple of different games, and it just, wasn't going too well. I don't know what else I could try it in. Because, again, he's so overachieved that season that I don't know if you could get that to happen on the tabletop. I just don't know. So that's kind of my dilemma right now. Is I did unbox the 83, and it got me interested in playing the USFL. I just don't know what I want to do with that. As far as, getting that itch scratched. I know I played some WFL on Action PC. It was kind of fun. In fact, I played the two games that went defunct before the end of the season. Who would have known that those are the teams I picked? Detroit and, was it Jacksonville? The Sharks or something like that? I even had the fields. Somebody created the fields for Action PC, so that was fantastic. I'll have to see if I have that in USFL. Hockey Unreal says, anyone ever jump into a replay schedule so quickly you accidentally use one of the wrong teams to play a game? Probably. I would say probably. I've jumped in a few times and maybe had the wrong home team, things like that. That's for sure. Whether it's, baseball or hockey. It's like, oh well, this game should have been here, and I'm playing it here. Oh well. So, um, and Quebec just destroyed New Jersey in its '93 replay, probably because the Devils were preparing to play the Sabres, not the Nordiques. Maybe. What do you mean the Sabres may have a forfeit? What's going on with that, Raven? Is that like in real hockey, or is that on your table? I don't know if you can. You have a forfeit on your table? I think you might. You might be able to have a forfeit on the table, right? I don't know. Let me know on that. I haven't followed much. The Sabres are doing pretty well from what I hear. They might even make the playoffs, right? Because I got some Sabres fans on my my social media feed, and they they were doing pretty well. So I don't know. But again, I haven't followed the NHL too much. I know playoffs are coming up in a couple of weeks, right? So, and oh, on the table. What happened? What happened? Did they run out of guys? Let me know on that. Let me know on that. I'm interested to see what game and what happened. Inquiring minds need to know. Forward sounds like it should be a rare role in a game, like extremely, extremely rare. Oh man. And David C comes by. Good to see you, David C. The Sabres will need an epic collapse not to make the playoffs. Oh, okay. Okay, they're currently number 1 in the Atlantic and 2 in the Eastern Conference. Holy cow, what happened to the Sabres? And Mike, good to see you, Mike. I was watching your channel the other day. You were playing some interesting stuff on your channel. What was that? Was that a basketball DOS game you were playing the other day? I was watching something on your channel. And I was like, oh, that looks kind of interesting. Was it who's PC DOS or something like that? I think it was a basketball game you were playing. Looked pretty wild. Looked pretty wild. I saw Rod Hess. We had Rod Hess here talking about basketball, and he was talking about the APA basketball. He was talking about with Jeff Giordano about APA basketball. So it's like, I wonder if he's going to try it. If he's going to, Jeff's going to let him borrow it and let him try it, or if he's already played it. I was trying to follow the conversation. Again, I'm at the rink on my phone and getting distracted and trying to read some conversations, but it was kind of neat. It was kind of okay. It was okay. It was yes, Hoops PC. Okay. And this Lion guy is playing the season of his life right now. Everything clicking in Buffalo. Good for them. They've been bad for so long that it's about time they get something good happening to them. So I'm happy to see that, Larry says, when is the soccer talk going to happen? Here's what I'm thinking, Larry. I'm going to give you an hour at D2D Con to talk soccer. I'm going to give the Larry panel, okay? And we're going to have it out in front of the building, okay? Not inside. We're going to have it out in front of the building, but it's going to be nice outside, and you can talk soccer for an hour. I'm kidding. And Mike says they have the pro version of the game also, so the Larry Bird gears. Interesting. Lake Effect says, I could see it. A rare forfeit roll. Hell, face to the mat is capable to roll a wrestler literally to death. Yeah, that's a little gruesome, but it is. Speaking about to death, I'm gonna take a little sidebar here for 50. You guys ever play anything side sports games? I know ID does, and a few other guys do. And have you guys ever heard of a game called the Arkham Horror? It's a tabletop game. It looks like it's a pretty busy game. And it's kind of this little horror game type thing. So I don't know if you guys ever heard of that. It's a pretty big game in the board gaming field. I think I actually have a PC version of that in Steam or something like that, but I haven't played it too much. It was on sale for a couple of bucks, so I thought I'd try it. I think that's the one I got. But anyway, this game called Arkham Horror, I think it's about a insane asylum. I didn't know, okay, and again, this is just what I saw on YouTube the other day, that the Arkham Horror game was based on an insane asylum in the city I grew up in, and that I visited and been by many times as a kid and as a young adult. And now it's an apartment complex. But so they went through the whole history of this complex. In the beginning, it was good. It was supposed to hold like 400 people or so, and they had all this staff, and it was working really well. but it was working so well they kept dumping people in, and 400 went to 600, went to 800, went to 1,000. Next thing you know, there's 2,000 patients there, not enough staff. They're stacking, people on top of each other. They're sleeping in the hallway, and it just became a disaster. And then that's when all the crazy operations and experiments started. And but the Arkham Horror, traced back far enough, was kind of based on this insane asylum over here. Uh, it was pretty gothic looking too. When you went by this place, you could see it up on the hill. You're like, dong. You're like, yeah. Especially on like a really day where the sky was really dark and you could like look up because it's way up on the hill. And I guess you used to have to take a horse and carriage to get up there back in the day, before cars. So it was built in like the 1800s. But interesting fact there that the Arkham Horror game was kind of loosely based on the beginnings of this place here. Pretty crazy. I never played it. If I have, I've played it only a couple of minutes on the computer, but that's kind of wild. There really is. Let's see, back here in the chat room, and Larry says he likes Dice United too. I have Dice United 1, and I never got 2, but I do have 1, and I did play one game, but I got it on the Black Friday sale, I think it was. It was only a few dollars. It was okay. I just don't know enough about soccer, and it was just kind of weird. I'm tempted. I don't know if Ryan's gonna bring the APA soccer this year. I'm tempted to play that with the fast action cards because I do like APA, and I thought about giving it a try. I just don't know enough about soccer. I'm not a big enough soccer fan, but maybe I could be a soccer fan if I got to play some of the APA soccer. I don't know. I'm not sure. And Ray says, copy from the wiki, an NHL game is forfeited if a team refuses to play or comply with the rules, resulting in a 1-0 loss. If a team cannot field at least 4 skaters and a goalie. So is that your situation? So many guys have been kicked out? Lake Effects likes the Arkham. He's heard of it, and he has Demi has a boatload of war games. Yeah, I would love to find a group. Let me continue with Ray. That they cannot continue while rare forfeits can be declared by the officials or the commissioner. I think they called that junior game. There was a junior game that had like 50 misconducts and all these penalties. I don't know what the hell happened to that game. It was up in not Hampshire, in Canada, I think. And it's just like, if you have 50 misconducts, I mean, isn't that everybody? There's not too many people that don't have a 10-minute misconduct or a game misconduct. So I don't even know how you bother playing at that point. I think they called the game. And it's like, yeah, I've called games as a referee before in my local leagues. Things start getting out of hand late in the game. Like, nope, we're done. He says, you guys want to play like this? This says, I'm not going to have this get out of hand any more than it is. So I'm not getting hurt, and I don't want anybody else here to get hurt. So let's just go home. You guys don't want to play hockey, so we'll just call the game. I've done that. It's not often, but no, you got to do that stuff. And Lake Effect says his favorite single non-player sports game is Fallout. I wanted to get the Skyrim board game because Skyrim was my favorite. Still is. I still play it from time to time. And I thought about getting the board game for that, but it looked like it was huge, so I couldn't play it here in Studio B. I'd have to go find a table. So even this table here wouldn't be big enough. And I just don't have anybody to play with. I'd love to find a gaming group around here that would play some of those non-sports games. I could just sit in and watch and just kind of make it a night and hang out with somebody that knows what they're doing, so I could enjoy it without having to know it. If you know what I mean? I think that'd be kind of fun. I think. Let's see here. Kara says, I try to do one game sport in a project associating with it. Basketball was PC replay till above the rim, got me hooked. Football, 2nd and 10, both NFL and college, and hockey's always stone cold. Interesting. And the soccer is classic soccer. Still debating whether to get rid of Dice United. Horse racing's top of the stretch, and bowling is in the pocket. So I'm kind of yeah. So it's still, like I say, my thing is that if I'm playing a game and I got a project going, do I want to play that game, put the projects aside, and pull out different teams in a different season? I just feel as though if I can chip away at that project, that's what I should be doing with that particular game. Sorry, they want me to work Monday night again. Sorry, I just want to be courteous and. Oh boy, what? Oh boy, what just happened here? Oh boy, I'm trying to text and look at you guys. Oh, I think I hit a new button on my keyboard. Um. Also, let's see. Ryan says I'll be bringing it. We should play another game with the fast action cards. Yes, please do that. And also the 4th Street, right? The 4th Street hockey. I want to check out that. So make sure you get that going so we can do that. There's 2 things I wanted to do that's been carried over from last year. So I'd love to see the fast action version of the soccer to see if that goes any faster and see if it's something I would like to do. But that is something I'd like to see. And Barbara's going to have some tornadoes here. Now, is that a new drink, Barbara? Is a tornado like a new drink? Is that like a, I don't know, a Bloody Mary or something like that? Let's see here. And Captain Carl, I haven't played Arkham Horror, but I purchased the game last month, Mansions of Madness. Some of those games are pretty fun. I see ID doing all that stuff. You know, ID plays all those games there. But the Arkham Horror, yeah, that kind of come in from the my grandmother used to work up there and my aunt, you know? So, I can't work due to tornadoes. I know, right? Yeah, there's like, can you work tomorrow night? No, I need a night off. And it's going to be raining tomorrow and yucky. And I still got work to do in the morning, but I'm not going back to a rink again. Because if I go back tomorrow night, it's going to be about 13 days straight in a rink. And I just don't want to be back in a rink. I need a day not to be at a rink. And I got to keep an eye on her upstairs. I haven't been seeing her much, and she's just having a tough time recovering from surgery. So I should be there with her, you know? So, but anyway, so yeah, so I'm still kicking around what I'm going to do with the 83, 84, 85 USFL. I really, really would like to get the Chris White Apple football version. I really would. Because it's so different. Those teams are so different. You know, the Oakland Invaders and teams like that. I love those crazy teams. I really do. But how much do I like them, and how much would I actually play that? You know, so that's what I'm kind of wondering on that. Yeah, but like I say, I just kind of feel guilty if I got a, like I say, I guess I would call it a project, whether it's a long term or medium term project that if I'm going to play the game, I should do the project, right? That's what it's there for. All right, here's another good one. So you got a book. You're reading a book, right? You're 3 or 4 chapters into this book, and you like the book. And you put down the book, and you sit down for your book reading time, and you grab another book, and you start reading that book. Maybe that's a better analogy. So you sit down, it's like, you know, every night you have, you know, 45 minutes or so after dinner to read a book. And you're reading this book and enjoy it, and all of a sudden you grab another book. So that's your book reading time. Shouldn't you be finishing the first book and enjoying that one before you move on to the next book? And that's another thing I do. I don't read a heck of a lot, but sometimes I do. And I'll be reading a book, and then I fade out, and I go into another book. It's like, well, here's my book reading time. I should be finishing this one. I know. I think I got the Boughton book about baseball and the 69. What is those teams? The Seattle Pilots. And then I have the Loose Balls about the ABA. So it's like I should just sit down and finish that book instead of moving on to the next one, you know? And so I guess that's the same way it is for these things here. It's like, you know, I mean, you can always go back to it. It never goes away. It's not like you're going to throw it away or anything like that. But you know, it's just if I'm going to spend time with the game, I should be working on that project I'm doing. Maybe the longer the project, right? There's a little forgiveness there. Because I mean, I'm going to be on this for months, maybe over a year if I ever get it done. So I shouldn't have to not play this game. If I, you know, if I'm going to play this game X, I'm only can play game X to play this project. So maybe I should have a little forgiveness there. But again, I just feel like that product's going to sink to the bottom of the pool if I don't do it. I just think that, you know. It was just something I was thinking about today at the rink. I was like, yeah, that might be something to talk about here. Is do you guys have the one game, one product rule? So if you're doing a product with a particular game, that's what you stick with. You stick if you're going to play that game, you're going to play that project. You're not going to go off and do something else and do another project or whatever. Although some people do that. Some people will be playing, say just for example, like Apple, let's say, and they'll say, hey, I'm playing the 68 Mets and I'm playing the 72, Giants or whatever, and they'll alternate. It's like, I guess that's okay because you're kind of going back and forth. But, if you were to play a bunch of the 68, Mets or whatever it is, and then you stopped and put that away and then pulled out the 72 Giants and went on with that, what's going to happen to those 68 Mets if you're playing that? I'm just reeling teams and seasons off the top of my head. I don't know. So I need to so I need to scratch that USFL itch some way, somehow. Even if I pull out the fast drive football and squeak out a couple of games, or if I play it in Action PC. I wonder if I have that in Action PC football. I should do that, right? And I think I could just go right to my folder and check out my seasons. 85 USFL. So I guess I don't have them all. I just have 85. So I would go and I would have to buy the other two. I would think. Yeah, I only have that one there. I only have 85. So I do have 74. I thought I had 75 the World Football League. Huh. Oh well. So I guess that's something I might have to go buy if I wanted to play 83. I think they were on sale for like $12 or something like that. So maybe I will. Sean says, I'm going to have less time for these games with the NHL playoff races getting tighter for the wild card and the lower spots. As much as I'm not a big fan of modern sports, round one of the NHL there's nothing beats it. It's every night. It's great matches every night. There's usually more than one game. Sometimes you get a 7-game, couple of 7 games and 8. Then you get a 10 o'clock. So even when the excitement's over early, you still got that late games. You can stay up and watch that. And I'm usually up late anyway, so I kind of will stay up and watch those games or listen on the radio. So the NHL first round is great. And then the games get cut in half. So you go from, what do you got? So it's 1 and 8. So you get eight things going on each side. What's it? Eight teams make the playoffs. So you get 4 sets and 4 sets. And then it breaks down to 2 and 2. So then it just starts to whittle down. So there's not a lot of stuff on TV, Oh, Ray says he lost his thumb drive. Still haunts you to today. I have files and games I'd like to copy and save as. Ugh. I know I have thumb drives everywhere too, and I never mock them. I always say, "Oh, I'll know what that is. I'll just put it here, and that way I know what it is." And yeah, that doesn't work too well. It doesn't work too well at all. But anyway, so yeah, I guess so. I get the rain coming in tomorrow. That means I'm going to have to play something on the table. Probably not be able to stream it because I don't want to stream if it's windy and rainy and have the power go out. So as long as it's light out and I get a little bit of light down here, I could play, right? So maybe I will play some Apple football, maybe some of that 83 season, or maybe back to 79 fast drive football. Because again, I could probably bang out a couple of games in an hour. Really enjoy that. Keep that season moving along. And that's the thing about that's been kind of fun is that I can see the standings finally starting to build a little bit. And I can see who's doing good and who's doing bad. And I got some surprises going on. I got some 0-4 teams that should not be 0-4. And I have some, 4-0 teams and some 2-2 teams. Like, boy, this is kind of strange, Alan comes by, Alan H. I have around 6 projects going. Fall Classic, 56 Reds, great season, most enjoyable. So, Alan, your projects there, is it all with the Fall Classic, or do you have some products going with other games? And the the question I'm bringing tonight is if you're doing a medium or a longer project with a game, do you ever stop that project to play something different with the same game? Or do you feel as though if you got a project going with Game X, so you got Fall Classic, you're playing a project with Fall Classic, do you feel that, you can just put aside that project and take Fall Classic out and play two other teams from a different season and play something completely different? Or do you feel as though that if you're going to play Fall Classic, you need to keep that project going for the sake of the project? Maybe that's the best way to put it. Not because you have to, not because, there's anything wrong, but just for the sake of the project to keep playing it. Because you pull out that game and you don't play it, it's kind of like, again, you're reading that book and then you put the book aside, or you're watching a movie and you hit the eject and you eject that disc and you put in another movie. Do you ever get back to that first movie? So I guess that's kind of where I'm going with all this. Let's see here in the chat room here. And Hockey and Real, I love watching the standing bills and seeing surprises. Yeah, that's the one thing I haven't done a lot of. I haven't done a lot of the things like that with seasons because, again, some of the games are just too long for me to do that. But the Fast Drive Football I'm at a good clip with it, and I can sit and really bang it. I think I can do about 3, maybe 4 games of Fast Drive Football before it's like, okay, I need to play something different. I played too much of this now. It's just getting to be like blah, 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 blah. And anytime you play the same game, at least me, I play the same game over and over in the same day. It's just like, yeah, it's just they're all running together. So I like to kind of mix it up with something different, Rob comes by and he says, I usually play one long project and interweave short events throughout. Yeah, that's probably the good way to do it. That way you're not, stuck playing one long project and nothing else. And you're like, oh man, I wish I could do all this other stuff. So maybe that's the way to do it. So yeah, maybe that's a good way to do it. And Rogue comes by. Good to see you, Rogue. He says, my main 2 products, 92-93 NBA with Above the Rim, every team, every game, and 77 NPG plus every team, every game. So, all right, so here's my question for you, Rogue. So you're playing Above the Rim. You're playing 92-93 NBA. You're playing every team, every game. What do you think about pulling out Above the Rim and playing, say, a game from like 1970? So I guess, so that's my question here. So you're playing every game. It's a long project with Above the Rim. Would you pull out Above the Rim and put 92-93 aside and play some other games? Or do you feel if you're going to play Above the Rim, you really should be working on the project? That's where I'm going here with the one game, one project rule. I'm just wondering how people feel about that. And Rob says, oh, the full NFL season, then some History Maker golf tournaments here and there. Well, that's the great thing about History Maker golf is you can kind of play those tournaments there, and they take a long time, but they're so fun. And if you want to keep like stats for the season, you can, or you can just kind of do that, And the Big Red Machine coming by. Good to see you, Big Red Machine. And he says, I do play other games as one-off in the early 80s for fun. Okay, so you do play that game that you're playing a long project in, and you will play some other games, and you don't feel like you're ignoring that project, right? Okay, that's interesting. Well, maybe that's the attitude to take for me is to look at it like that and just say, just play what you want, and I just feel guilty. I do. I feel guilty that I'm kind of cheating on that project with some other teams, and it's like anytime that I dedicate to Fast Drive Football, I feel like I should be doing 79 because I like it. I do like the 79 project. But you know me, I see squirrels everywhere and I get different things and I want to do different things. Oh, speaking of squirrels, so 7 o'clock tonight, the wife went out and with her one eye and she, went out to put out some food for the possums. Well, guess what? She put the food down and the possum was in the yard. She's like, screamed. She's like, oh, the possum's out here. And the thing kind of ran away from her. She was all set. But so they're still kicking around the yard. So it was kind of funny because I heard her talking. I was like, I bet you the possum's out there because it was still light out. It was 7 o'clock. It was still light out. Oh, man. Too funny. And Big Red Machine says, I usually stick with one project at a time. Yep. Alan says, I play around 4 different games. I just enjoy the games. If I finish the great replay, great. If not, I'm just enjoying what I play. I guess that's the other thing too, is that I need to just enjoy the playing experience. I shouldn't have to worry about finishing it or abandoning a project, but it's just, you know how it is. You get going on a project, and there's something about finishing a project that is so cool. And I have yet to play a long one. I usually just do quick plays or I do playoffs. But when I finish it, no matter if it's a day or 2 or 10, there's something about that. It's like, oh man, I finished that. That was great. Instead of, getting the itch to play a couple of teams and, oh, I'm going to play all their games, and you get 3 games into it, and then you do the same thing with another team. Then that's just kind of how I roll. I know it is. That's how I roll. But I would like to stick with the 79 season with football, like I am with the 76 payoff pitch, because it's just been fun. But again, sometimes you're like, okay, I'm kind of tired of playing this. I want to play something else. So it just kind of goes. Cutter says, oh, he's playing PC Replay Baseball. PC Replay Baseball is released in 2025. Oh, they're play testing. Very nice. Very nice. Excuse me. And Sean was feeding the squirrels tonight, and the chipmunks and the birds. My neighbor's got chipmunks up his armpits over there next door. I look out in his yard, and they're running like all over his yard, and they're going like these little holes next to his house and stuff. It's like, holy cow. It's like, dude, you see all the chipmunks over there? It's like, yeah, I know. They're everywhere. So Sean says his son laughed at him when he won the other night when he should have played a sim baseball instead of Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead is so good. I played that for a month, Sean, on the 360. I couldn't stop playing it. That is when I did my favorite 5 video games of all time. I think Left 4 Dead 1 was in that list, because that's just one that never left my Xbox 360, because you could play it alone and the computer could play with you, or you could play with friends, or a combination. And it was just so good. In fact, I bought it on Steam, and I haven't played it too much on this computer, if at all. But I still have it for my 360, and that was such a good game. I didn't like 2. 2 was just like more zombies, and I just didn't care for it. It really did nothing for me. I know people who love 2. I did not love 2. 1 was so good, and I need to play it again. And it's just so fun when the tank comes and you're trying to survive and the craziness happens, and it's like a movie. You see at the end of the film that shows you who survived and the whole bit and how many zombies were killed, and it was one of my favorite games of all time. It really was. Let's see. And the CKY comes by and says, well, I've broken that rule beyond repair. I have over 20 products spread over 4 games. Of course, I'm probably not at all well. I'm in the same boat with you. I've learned, well, no, I haven't learned, but I'm trying to not I try not to start new projects. It's hard. Sometimes that's why I do the one-offs, because it's like, well, if I say I'm going to do this here, I know I'm not going to. And the only 2 products I really have going on right now that I off the top of my head are my payoff pitch 76 Red Sox and my fast drive football 1979 season. I'm trying to play every game. Those are the only 2 products. I'm looking over here. I think those are the only 2 actual projects I still have going. I did finish the season ticket baseball tournament. I took 4 teams and I had a tournament, and I think I was doing some kind of a round robin or something like that, or I don't know, it was a King of the Hill. I forget what it was now. But I did finish that. I abandoned I when I got the 76 Stratomatic baseball in, I decided to play every team in some playoff thing, and that didn't go well at all. I was playing a best of 3 series, and all the top teams were out. I'd say 4 out of the 5 top teams in the league were bounced by 4 out of the 5 bottom teams. and it just didn't feel right. It just didn't feel right, and I was like, yeah, I killed that product. Not too many products I killed. They mostly just die on the vine. This one I killed. I was like, no, we're done with that. I stopped keeping track of whatever it was. Um, I think that I don't know if I ever finished my 1979 playoffs because I did the season using many games, and Digital Diamond was kind of keeping the stats and playing the odd games I didn't play, which was most of them. And I got to the playoffs, and I don't think I ever finished. It just kind of died out. I really don't know. Um, uh, Look, I've played a ton of quick play games, a ton of them. A lot of the Downey games, they're really enjoyable. They really, really are. I enjoy them very much. And Dave Little comes by. Um, he was playing some wrestling tonight. I was watching that while I was setting up this. I was actually finishing up some work on the computer while listening to Dave. So Dave, my wife has got her 1 week appointment coming up Tuesday. I'm kind of hoping she can start seeing out of that eye pretty soon. I know you said 2 weeks, but it's good. It's just been concerning that she's still having problems seeing out of it. So hopefully, hopefully she's still on target and things are progressing well. So, that is that. And Rogue says, what's distracting him from 92, 93 is I miss having Magic and Bird in the replay. But if I play with Magic and Bird, then I don't get Shaq. You just can't get everyone. Yeah. Yep. Exactly right. Yep. Yep. Oh, there's another one going. Yeah, the Baseline Basketball, Ohio Basketball, OBA still going. Yeah, that's another one I haven't got back to in a bit. That's a good point there, Red Jester. That I need to go and back to that. That was a nice fun one because it was small, and I can just pull that out at any time because that's a quick play game, and I play back to back. I play home and home for each team, and you only play each team once, so it's only a 6-game season and then playoffs. So that's very manageable. So I think I'm in week 2. I've done the home and home, so now I need to do week 3 and 4 if I'm doing weeks, if you call it that, or games 3 and 4. And that's a very manageable one because I'm only doing final score. So yes, the OBA we'll get back here on the channel. I need to make a note of that too. The OBA that was fun. I was enjoying that. In fact, I was looking at the Chris White catalog, and you know how he's got the VSU basketball, which I really enjoy. Which you roll it, it's very much like baseball. Baseline, you roll a ton of dice and get your score. He's got one that can get points and assists and rebounds now, which might really be good for my ABA project, which I want to get back to. That I've been using Bank Shot and then play with the game from Downey for. So I want to get a set of that in and see how that looks. That might be kind of fun if that'll get you some decent stats and continue to play that project in a little quicker play game. That'd be kind of fun. Let's see here. And Big Red Machine says going to have a donation for the door prize for D2D. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah, I got there was a prize that I was going to give away here, and I never got back to the guy who was donating it. So I think I might use that as one of the raffle prizes at D2DCon. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I got to get back to him and probably do that. That might be the way to go. And I got to get some other things for D2DCon too. Some items for the swag bag and for the giveaway, because that's only 2 months away. So if I'm going to get stuff custom done, I need to get on that, right? And the last 3 weeks are gone. I've lost the entire month of March between snow and work. And I just haven't any time to do some real adult things. And Loke's asking about some ratings. I don't know. I didn't create the game, so I can't help you with any of the ratings. I just play the game and I have a good time with them. I just have a good time with them. And Hockey Unreal says he's got to go and do some dusting. Do you have the French maid outfit? That'd be awesome. You got the French maid outfit and you're doing some dusting around the house before you go to work. That'd be cool. but anyway, thank you for coming by. I need to have more of this. This stuff when it's cold, oh, it's so good. Ginger ale helps my throat. When I do the hockey games, I have a iced coffee, and it's just the cold kind of helps my throat from talking so much at the rink. And oh yes, I'm hoping it is Strat related. Yes, it is. I really do. I'm looking forward to that. I'd like to play some more Strat. I like the Strat Basic Baseball, and I wish they had more seasons in stock. And yeah, I did play the Ultra Quick Football. It's fine. again, those games are fine for quick rolling dice. Oh, is that what it is? A French maid outfit for D2D Con? That's going to be the door prize? Ooh, I'm gonna have to put Michael in it. Matt, I'm gonna have to get Canistrari in that, right? Maybe we'll have a raffle going for that. If we can get enough people raffling off, we'll have Canistrari do the raffle in a French maid outfit. That's what I'm thinking. That's a good idea, Dave Little. We'll have Mike do the raffle in a French maid outfit, and he'll have the basket, and he'll just jiggle it like this in front of himself, and you can see all the maid outfit behind him. Little hat on too. Oh, that would be awesome. You guys are very creative. Especially late on a Sunday night. On a Sudbury Sunday night. I did finish watching Shoresy. That was a fast season. Again, they only 6 episodes, half hour each. You can watch it in a night. It's kind of stinks, and you got to wait another year. We were watching. She has a hard time watching TV right now, so we got halfway through the new Monarch episode, which is like the Godzilla King Kong thing, and we had to stop because it was bothering her. So we'll pick it up tomorrow, but we like watching that. We have just a couple of shows. I'd rather game. I was talking to somebody about that. Who was I talking to? And I was like, instead of like sitting and just watching TV, I really would like the game. Rather come down here and play a game or talk about games rather than sit and just watch TV. But we do have a couple of shows that we do watch, I will do better than that. If we can get him in a French maid outfit, we will live stream it. How about that? And we'll have it in virtual reality. Put on the VR glasses, and we'll get Canistrari in that. That'd be great. I've not watched Paradise, Mike. I haven't watched that. What we watch? And Rogue's watching that too. It's okay. It's slow moving, and it's really just about there was a little Godzilla in it, but it's about the rift that goes into the netherworld or something. I don't know. I'm trying to follow it all. It's okay. It's a slow moving monster movie. More about not so much about the monsters doing things, but like where they came from and where they are now and how they brought them up. So, the Monarch is good. Legacy of Monsters is good. The other one we watch is Shrinkers or Shrinking with Harrison Ford and was it Jason Segel? I think it's a drama comedy. It's more drama than comedy, but it's really well done, and we enjoy that one. And there was a few others on Apple TV we watched, a couple invasion movies and alien movies and things like that. And they were okay. They're all slow moving. I mean, considering it's 2026 and everything's got go, 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 go. And like, it's hard to watch movies now because they used to take 10, 20, 30 minutes to set the stage. If you don't set the stage in the first 5 minutes, I'm clicking away. You need to get me going in those first 5 or 10 minutes to watch a movie. And you can't take all that time building it up. And so anyway, Big Red Machine. I'm bringing all 4 sports, and I'll be an official Strat representative. Oh, I saw that. That is so cool. I gave that a big thumbs up and a big congratulations on your Facebook there. That is so cool that you're going to be doing that. I look forward to it. I really do. I'm looking forward to sitting down and looking at that stuff there. I played some football with Glenn Guzzo out in Colorado. That was such a fun time. And I told him, I says, you guys need more seasons of football. I would absolutely play this, but you have maybe 1 season I would buy. And he says, how many do you need? I said, so that's the wrong question, and I'm the wrong guy to ask because you know how many I'm going to need. It's not a want, it's a need. I need to have these seasons. You play a game that you like. It's like, man, I just want to play more of it. And that's a testament to the game. So would love to see that kind of happen at some point. But anyway, so that's kind of what's going on over here. That's why you haven't seen me playing any games. Again, I got that unboxing on Friday, and I felt pretty good about that. Somehow I was still awake enough to do that. I just got my schedule in today. Guy just texted me the schedule here, so I had to decline tomorrow night because otherwise I wouldn't get any breaks. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's going to be my schedule this week. So that means I'm going to have to not play hockey Thursday night because there's no way I can do all that again this week. I'm just a zombie going from rink to rink. I need to be able to sleep. Oh well. But after that, that's it. Then after that Friday, those teams are done, and then there's one team left, and I think they're only going to get one or two games, and then everything's all done. So that's that. And a pay per view, yeah, for Mike. Yeah, Mike and the French maid outfit. Yeah, I think we might want to do that. Some Roads comes by. Good to see you. The other night I almost pulled out the hair set and played a game. But by the time I come home and I got the wife settled in and did whatever it is she needed me to do and settled down, I was exhausted. I couldn't do it. So, but I do want to get the hair set going because that's going to be fun to play some of those guys. And I'm just gonna pick my favorite guys and just play them. Again, it's just gonna be a fun thing to do. I don't have to worry about batting orders. I'm just gonna just have them all hit because they're fun guys. So, a good time. And yeah, John comes by, Mr. Turnbull. Yeah, we were talking about your baseline basketball here. I have to get back to my OBA, the Ohio Basketball Association. I've played a couple of games with it, or a couple of weeks, if you will, if I'm doing the schedule. Really enjoyed that. The fictional basketball. It's weird that I'm playing basketball and I'm playing fictional, two things I'm really not a big fan of, but I'm having some fun with that. I really am. I really am. Let's see. Get one of the local rippers in the French maid outfit. I don't know. I don't know how many rippers there are in Connecticut, but maybe my buddy Ray could find out. It is about having fun. Yeah. So here's my thing. Some Roads, and Christopher comes by. Good to see you. If you missed the beginning part of the show, I got this big itch to play the USFL. Okay. And I wasn't sure what I wanted to play it in. And then I went full circle with all the games I could play it in. And I said, well, maybe fast drive football would be the way to go. And that way there, I could scratch the itch. And if I really liked it, then I could go play it in a longer game and maybe, spend some money on the Chris White set and play it with Apple Football or, get it for second season or something like that. And then I kind of said, well, let me start with the fast drive football. But then my thinking was, well, I have a project going with fast drive football, the 1979 season. And I think any time I spend with fast drive football should be on the 79 season. Otherwise, I'm kind of pushing it off to the side if I play something else. So that was my dilemma, is the one project, one game rule. So if I got a project going on in fast drive football, anytime dedicated to fast drive football, probably should be working on that project instead of something else. Again, I liken it to, you have, a half hour, 45 minutes after dinner every night and you sit down and like to read a book. So you start reading this book and you get 2 or 3 chapters in. And then the next night you sit down and you're pulling out a different book. And it's just like, shouldn't you really finish that first book and get the enjoyment out of that before jumping on to something else? Because eventually that book's just going to go to the back of the bookshelf. And so that's just this discussion we had tonight. No wrong answers. No wrong answers at all, but we're just kind of talking about that, about, if you have a project going on, no matter how little or medium or big it is, and you go to play a game, shouldn't you be playing that project with that game? Or are you perfectly fine with, well, I'm playing Apple baseball, playing this season here, but I'm going to put that aside and play a couple of playoff series at Apple baseball? Or is your Apple baseball time dedicated to that project? That's kind of where I was with this whole thing here, if you will. Alan says, did anybody ever look at my collection? Does anyone ever look at your collection and say why? Well, first of all, Alan, no one ever looks at my collection except for you guys, and I only have part of it over here. So no one ever comes to my house and looks around. Back in the day, I had a video game collection. I've sold a ton of that stuff off, but so some people used to come on and say, "Well, look at all the video games you got," and they were a lot more expensive than I had so many more of them too. But yeah, not so much. Pops Reviews comes by. Hope we're having a good evening. Well, we're talking games, so anytime I can play or talk games, it's a good evening. Yeah, the Duffer Man comes by and he says it depends on what sport I want to play. I have several products going in different sports. I have no problem switching between them. Okay. Then there you go. You're all set. Yes, no problem at all. And some road says I have too many product. Yeah, and that's it too. I do have too many product. Well, I shouldn't say that. I have, again, I was trying to list them off. The ones that I'm aware of, okay, was the 79 Fast Drive Football, 76 Boston Red Sox with Payoff Pitch, the OBA with Baseline Basketball. There's only 4 teams in the OBA, so it's really small and it's just kind of fun fictional basketball. I'm not keeping any totals, just the final scores. And it's just a fun little fictional basketball league. I'm trying to think anything else. I've had some little products that I did finish. I think I had a couple of World Series products that I didn't quite get all the way. I got like 3 or 4 games in. I have some things on Strat PC baseball. I remember starting the 74 Oakland A's, and I only got a handful of games, and I stopped that. I've given up on all my 86 Clemens replays because it just wasn't going well. And aside from that, the 78 Apple football replay. I think I did week 1, maybe week 2, and then I realized I wasn't really playing it right. So it's I'm going to scrub that one and just kind of, when it comes to the Apple football, unless I'm stuck on a desert island and in perfect health, I'm going to live forever. Then I don't want to take on anything too big with that. I just want to play some games and just have some fun with it with the Apple football. So, and Thomas comes by and says, "Need to go get USFL football. 83 is a great season." I have it. For Fast Drive Football, so I could play that, which is a very, very fun game. I have one of those seasons in Action PC, so I guess I could buy the other 2 if I wanted to and play it with Action PC. Solitaire Pro, I think, only has 84 or 85, one of the 2. I don't know about season ticket football with Clay. I don't know what he's got for USFL. And again, I was looking at the Chris White Apple football one, but they're expensive, but they're gorgeous. And I'm just thinking, how much would I play it? I mean, how much money do I want to spend on the Boston Breakers so I can play some Boston Breaker games, which I don't know anybody on the team. But would it be fun if I got 84 or 85 and I was able to play some Flutie games and some Herschel Walker games or some Jim Kelly games or some Doug Williams games, things like that. So as much as I would like to play like the Oakland Invaders, which I don't know anybody on that team off the top of my head, just to plan to play and have some fun. I mean, but how soon would that fun kind of run out? But I'm tempted to go and do something with that. I really am. I just don't know what I'm going to do with that. And Christopher says that's the exact reason I don't do products. I don't want to feel obligated to any one particular project. I suppose, yeah, you want to feel obligated. It is kind of fun, as much as I like playing the one-offs, it is fun to have something that you're building. It's like you can go to the beach and just kind of build a sandcastle, but if you start building sandcastles and moats and connecting castles, you feel like you're part of something a little bigger. That's what the idea that I play products for, Let's see. And Pops Review also says, good to have maybe 2 games going on of a season or campaign so you don't burn yourself out on the one game. That's the other point that someone brought out too, is that if you're playing a game, so I'm playing Fast Drive Football 79, that can get kind of stale and boring. So if I play some other teams of Fast Drive Football, maybe it just kind of breaks up that, I hate to say monotony, because that's not right because we're having fun with the stuff. But yeah, so you don't get burnt out on something. Also good to have some mini quick games mixed in for variety. Yes, that's what the quick games work out well for, Bob says, it's easy to start products, but hard to finish them. Isn't that the story of what we do? And we have a good time doing it, right? And he's had some good luck, though. Yep. And, Thomas says he has the cards from Chris White in USFL. I'm so tempted. So I really am. Again, I get one more week to go of just craziness. Again, just read my schedule. I got to go back up there 3 times this week minimum, and maybe 4 or 5 depending on what the other team's doing for playoffs. But then that's it. After this week, I might have nothing after this week, because one team, win or lose, I'm done. They either move on to New Jersey or they go home. So I'd be done with them this week anyway. And the top team, they were the 3rd seed, so I don't know how many home games going to get. if they keep winning, then maybe they'll get more. But yeah, so it's going to end quickly. So maybe I should just. But I don't know what season to get. Again, I like the Boston Breakers, 83. Don't know anybody, but I'd like to play them. But then 84, 85, that's when you get some of the bigger names from the NFL in there. And that would be kind of fun. So do I just want to play like a generic team, or do I want to play some names? And if I play a generic team, would it be better playing a generic set like Fast Drive Football or on the Action PC, so I won't have to spend a ton of money and take too long to play the games? I don't know. I'm up in the air. I'm up in the air on it. The Flutie Flakes. I got that for Christmas one year. My mother bought everybody Flutie Flakes. Flutie Flakes. Yeah. Rogue says, I view having too many games as sort of a curse. I have half the football sets I haven't seen since 78. Yep. Yep. But again, as the replay game it talks about, is that we are collectors, right? We do like to collect. I like to collect a little bit. The difference though is when I collect, I still get to use the stuff. So it's not like it just sits there, even though obviously I don't play everything over here that's in the boxes or in the envelopes, but I can, and I have pulled them out, and just every now and then I'll come downstairs. Okay, what am I going to play? I got to take this season, pull out a couple teams, play a game, and I feel pretty good about it. And they're not decoration, and I do like collecting seasons, I guess. So it is kind of a collection type of thing, but yeah, there's some games and seasons I haven't seen the light of day in a long time. It's just and we talked about was it the replay game I was talking about, the circle of games, that you have your favorite games here, and sometimes a game goes into the circle and the circle gets a little bit bigger because now you have a bigger rotation, and sometimes a game falls out of the circle, so the circle shrinks a little bit. Right. So we have the circle of games that makes the table. And I'm the same way. And every now and then I'll go and I'll take, Presidents for 50. I'll go off the board and do that and find something really, really obscure that I haven't played in a long time and have some fun with it. And I've even gone back to some games that I haven't played in a long time and like, boy, they're going to make it into the inner circle for a while because I wasn't really enjoying it. Again, Hockey Blast was one of those that made a comeback with me and on the channel. Second Season Express. I bought it to play quicker games. After I played it, I realized that I wanted to play the full game more, which I did. But now I want to kind of play some quicker games, and I'm back into the Second Season Express a little bit more, and I've been playing some games of that. And I wonder what I have for USFL on that. Yeah, that's a good idea. The Wheel of Names could be the Wheel of Games. Maybe I should do that. But the problem with that though, Christopher, right? If I were to do that, if I were to put a bunch of games on the wheel and spin it, whatever game that come up, I'd want to play something else. You just got to go with what you feel, not what you're told to do. I see where you're going with that, and it's a very interesting way of looking at it. Let's see here. I want to see if I can take a look at my second season. I wonder what I have for that. All right, so if I go to my second season here, what do I have? I know I got one USFL. I know I have one. And maybe it was a printed set that I got. I thought, does anybody know what's available for second season for USFL? That's what I'm kind of wondering here. I know I have one season. It might be a printed season. I don't think they offer everything. It's kind of neat. I do have that 2004 to 2023 run. That's the holiday one. It's kind of neat. And it's the older style too, but it works. It's an older code, but it checks out. So if I wanted to do that, I have all that. And I have some other seasons there as well. I got some early 70s and a couple of 80s. I'm pretty sure I got that printed set of one of the USFL seasons. And I don't know which one it was. It was one of those a couple of years ago. They had it, right? So I don't know if anybody can check on that. If anybody at the computer could go to the Play website and see if they have any USFL seasons for a second season. But a couple of years ago, when they had their Black Friday sale, is one of those once it was gone, it was gone. And so I get up in the morning and everything was pretty much gone that I wanted. But they did have a stray printed set of USFL, and I think I got that. I think that's one of the few things that I was able to get, and it's the older one. It's kind of the old ugly one, but it'll work in a pinch if you want to really play it. And I forget what year it was. I don't know if it was 84 or 85. I don't think it was 83. I don't think it was. Um, but anyway, and Rogue says, grew up an Apple guy, but now I found that 4th Street football, baseball, hockey, and basketball are my favorite games. The matchup system scratches that itch. I have the football. Somebody sent me the football, and I need to go and unbox that again when I have a minute. So it'll probably be in a couple weeks. And I want to check that out. But the 4th Street games, they're kind of big. The basketball looks neat because you have the different zones. So maybe that's something I need to. Maybe that's the next thing for me is to get into the 4th Street games and check them out. I heard they're pretty good. And Christopher says it's the 85 USFL. Okay, so that's the one that I have. And yeah, Thomas says, yeah, he's got all three for USFL. Oh, you have all three? Oh, I'm so jelly. I'm so jelly. And Christopher says he's got 84 for second season from Keith's Archives. Okay. I forget which one I got. It's probably 85. It's not 83. It's 84, 85. It was one of the leftover ones that they were just kind of getting rid of them. So that's the one I got. But Thomas has all three. Now I'm really jealous. Really jealous. Randy Vataha was the general manager for 83 in the Boston Breakers. I met Randy Vataha at that gym. Remember that gym I was talking about that I talked about? Hey, let's go see the Breakers play. Remember I talked about that at the beginning of the show? He was one of the, I don't know if he was an owner or a manager or something at the gym because the Patriots were coming in all the time. Bill Lenkitis and guys like that. And so Randy Vataha was in there and we met him and talked to him. I was just a wee lad at the time, teenager. And so I met Randy Vataha. Super, super nice guy. He really, really was, And so Rogue says the 4th Street football is tricky because it literally has hundreds of offensive plays and it's not easy. Oh, that's not what I want to hear. I like easy games. I like easy. Although sometimes, like a 49 on the turf football there from Grant, that's a challenging game, but it's so good. It is. It's a challenging game. It's nothing you want to play when you're tired, but that's a good thinking man's game. I do enjoy that, and I haven't played that in a long time. And I tell you that I played. I had the '76 season in that, and I was playing the Vikings and the Buccaneers in '76. Now they didn't play in '76, but I just got a game on the table, and that's the one where it called for a long pass for Tampa Bay, and they got the rush, and I'm flipping cards. He avoids the rush, he throws it deep, and because Tampa Bay was so bad, the chances of completing a long pass was 10% or less. And I flipped the card to see if it was complete, and it said possible deflection. So I flipped it, and it was not deflected. And then the last card I flipped was to see if he caught it, and it was one of those cards, probably one of the fewest cards in the deck that every single value was a catch. It's kind of like a scratch ticket. Everything's a winner, and that's probably the only card, or one of a few cards in the deck that he would have made that catch. And so I just pictured the guy going back at midfield, like a 55-yard pass, and just launching a Hail Mary, and somehow this guy catches it for Tampa Bay and he scores. That was that's an awesome moment that I talk about in my gaming history, and that was just an exhibition game. And Minnesota went on to win like 24-7 or something like that. But at the time, it cut the score to, I don't know, 10-7 or 14-7. And just I could just picture like the Minnesota crowd go, "What's going on here?" Expansion teams on a 50-yard pass, but it was fun. That was one of my fun times of playing some of these games. And I should go back to the 49 on a turf football because I have some season for that. Now that was a good time. I really did. And now Roman Gabriel was the quarterback coach. He was watching games on the USFL. I've been watching a little bit too, some of the highlights. Who was it? Al Michaels was doing some highlights. I forget when they played, but it must have been after the football season, like the NFL season, or before it or something. But he was doing some highlights. It was kind of neat. And Cutter says, yes, I remember you saying that. I brought that out earlier. 2nd and 10 PC has the 3 years of the USFL. And yeah, I remember you saying that. So that's one of the things I talked about doing. Should I play it in that? That might be kind of fun. And maybe I still will. Maybe I'll go and play that. That's a hard game to stream because it's just not a lot to look at. It's just like just text. It's not a lot happening. But you could go and play some of that. That might be fun. I haven't updated that in years, so I don't know if there's an update. I don't even know how to update it, but I should go check into that. So anyway, well, I'm going to probably wrap things up in a couple of minutes here. I just wanted to kind of come on and say hi to you guys. It's been a while. And so I got one more week at the rink, and then I can get back and get some gaming here going on the channel. I'm trying to get another podcast in this week. It's just been hard, doing everything. It's been fun. Again, when you're working and it's fun, you're not really working. But still, too much of a good thing can be too much of a good thing, And Bob says he loved the USFL in '83. Went to 3 Denver Gold games. Interesting. Yep. Thank you so much for coming by. I'm just gonna have a little gaming chat tonight here. And again, before I sign off, I want to know: do you have the one game, one project rule? If you're playing a game and you got a project going in that game, whatever the game is that you're playing, whatever the season is, do you ever put that product away and play something else with that game, another team, another season? Or do you feel as though when you're going to pull out Game X, that if you got a project going that you really should be using your Game X time to continue with that project? That's what I was talking about here tonight. I'd love to know your thoughts on that. Just let me know. So anyway, and thank you for coming by. And I thought we had a fun time tonight with the chat here. So we will talk to you all later. Bye-bye.